Episode. It's Jammin with J Money, man. We back. It's Friday. Trying to get to some cash, man. It's payday. We got my guy Junior. We got my guy Jordan Sharp back with us today, and obviously my guy Junior here as well. And I'm J Money, man. Make sure I go to SBR Picks /NBA. Click the link in the description, man. Go check out all the articles we have over there. Make sure you line shop as well. Make sure you're getting the best betting odds. So what's up, Jordan? Everything good with you, brother?
Yeah, man. Happy to be back. Feels good. We've had some excellent second round games so far, and I'm hoping we get another good game one from a series we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. But yeah, hoping everything continues the way it is, because it's been a pretty nice playoff so far. Yesterday was absolutely insane with OG Anunoby pretty much saving the Raptors season. That game went under really easily. For those of you, I know there were a few people on Twitter I saw that were liking the under yesterday. So if you're on that, congrats on that. And then I told you before the show I didn't watch the first half of Denver and the Clippers. Turned that on in the third quarter, and then basically just turned it right back off afterwards, because they were in control from basically the second quarter on in that one. So that was an impressive statement by the Clippers there. I think you kind of knew that was coming. That you kind of knew there was. I didn't hear what you guys had to say about this game yesterday, but you knew that clip that was going around, Jamal Murray being like, "Oh man, we got to play Thursday." Like, you could tell in his face, like, "Oh man, we're going to lose this game." And they certainly didn't come out with that much effort. So it'll be interesting to see if they come out with any better effort in game two of that one. But how about you, Junior? How'd you end up yesterday? How you been this past week?
I lost my play yesterday, which I'm absolutely fine with, because Toronto hurt some feelings yesterday. And I don't even say that as a fan, because like I said, I lost my ticket, so I'm really pissed at the Raptors, to be honest with you. I don't give a shit that they won. I care that I lost my bet. That being said, I don't know. The Celtics are the better team right now. The Raptors win game two, though. It's a whole new series, because like I tried to tell people yesterday, because people were in the chats were saying I was taking it personal. It's not that I'm taking it personal. When you act like the Raptors can't beat the Celtics, you're lying to yourself, or you're just a victim of the moment. Yeah, they struggle against them. The Celtics are not like some unbeatable team. The only two teams the Raptors should fear are the Lakers and the Clippers. Everybody else everybody in the East is beatable. Yesterday, people in the chat were saying Van Vliet and Lowry too small. A word? They're too small? You sure about that? Come on, bro. You watched them win a title. How are they too small now? Van Vliet went to the hole and tied the game with 20 seconds left. Was he too small then? Kyle Lowry dropped 31. You let Kyle Lowry drop 31? Come on, bro. The Celtics are not unbeatable. Obviously, Jason Tatum is not going to play like shit every game. But you have to assume at some point Pascal Siakam is going to turn back into a man and start playing ball instead of acting like a hoe, because he's embarrassing right now. Like, even on that play where Kemba Walker made that bounce pass, dog, you don't know that in the bottom of a zone you got to rotate to protect the basket at 6'8". Like, dog, come on, man. He can't even do fundamental things right now. In game two, he's stepping out of bounds in crucial play. Come on, man.
He hadn't looked good in the whole bowl to me.
Yeah, he's awful right now.
It's crazy that, the Raptors actually did look. They still won the game yesterday, even though they probably shouldn't have. It was. You can't get down 10 at halftime in a game where it's a much win. The fact that the Raptors came out there, they're stagnant, and let the Celtics win. Lead at the half by 10 was just so alarming to me. The Raptors always have these third quarters, but you shouldn't even be in that case. You should, a game like yesterday, in my opinion, if the Raptors really, or wanted to stay in this series, or really, if I feel like they could win game four, I really think they had to come out there and be up by at least 5-10. I'm talking about after the first quarter. You kind of showed some fight there in the they was up 10-5 or 10-3, got shot up real quick, but then you see the Celtics come back it's a must-win game for you guys. They're motivated, but the Celtics are just light years better than the Raptors this year. They really missing that one go-to guy. Siakam is not the same as Spicy P, probably whatever. He's pandemic P now, and he hadn't looked good so far in the bubble. They were real lucky to win that game. Was on the Raptors in the first half money line. They dropped that one. They had a full game money line. So I'm glad that they had that. I'm glad that they made that shot. But I had some Raptors -2 in my pocket as well. So would have really been nice to go to overtime. But in my opinion, they didn't deserve that game. And I'll probably be on the Celtics in game before, man. The Raptors, in my opinion, are absolutely cooked, and they can't hang with the Celtics. Yesterday really showed that. And the Celtics are pissed from losing that game as well. But, yep, the Raptors do end up getting the dub in their own city. thought they lost that game and was pissed. You know what I'm saying? 0.5 seconds. Them boys come out and say, hey, the Raptors lose game 3, but they end up getting a game-winning shot from OG there. Pretty crazy that Taco Fall couldn't. You know what I'm saying? You have a 7-4 guy out there. He still didn't make a difference. But then you had the Nuggets smack the Clippers up. I didn't see that, Jordan, that Murray was like, damn, we got to play Thursday. I knew that the Nuggets had just played 3 straight game 7s. I can't wait to talk about this game today. What'd you say, Junior?
Jamal Murray didn't know they were playing yesterday until he was told in the interview. He was like, what? We were playing tomorrow? Like, he didn't know, which tells you, I mean, I wish I would have seen that earlier in the day, because I sent Jay Money a text yesterday, a message that, you know, because of the way the game started with Denver up, I actually ended up getting the -6.5 on the live bet, which I didn't really need to wait for. But you know what I'm saying? As a handicapper, you should always try to get the best part of the number, not the worst. So I was just trying to do that, but obviously that really wasn't necessary because, you know, like we all thought, they just smacked them around.
Yeah, that second quarter got pretty ugly. We know Denver was going to, like I told you on the show, Denver was going to run out of gas here as it gets later into the quarter. They were down 3-1 and had to have pretty much 3 straight game 7s. It's not so much as them running out of gas, in my opinion, which they probably did, but the Clippers are just light years better than them. So you throw that into the count, then the Nuggets having 3 straight game 7s, not just one. They pretty much had 3 straight game 7s. They had to lay it all out on the line, 3 straight games. Of course, they was going to run out of gas yesterday, 38-20. Second quarter pretty much blew the whole game open. It was never close after that, man. The Clippers pretty much easy casher. We saw them get bet up from open at -6 up to -9, Jordan, and that one pretty much cashed with ease. Any thoughts on that one? You really think that the Nuggets were just outclassed in that one, or do you think that they were that it was coming from them being tired?
I think it was just them being tired, dude. Like you said, I mean, the mental aspect of playing 3 straight elimination games like that, basically is tough enough. So yeah, I mean, I would expect a bounce back effort from them in game 2. That being said, though, you know, we've said it before. Defense has been the problem. That they played it when they needed to in the first round. This is a whole nother story now against the Los Angeles Clippers. You're gonna have to play defense from the moment that ball tips off to the end of that fourth quarter, and if they don't do that, like we saw in the second quarter, they're just gonna blow away from you, and they're a good enough team and they're well enough coached to where they're not gonna give up leads like some of these other teams that they've been playing. So I wouldn't say I'm not writing off the Nuggets at all yet, but they're definitely gonna have to recalibrate and come out game 2 real focused. I wanted to also say real quick about Toronto. I think there's a big difference in Pascal Siakam having to be the second option versus now the first option this year. It's a lot easier to look like he did last year when you're playing off of a Kawhi Leonard versus this year.
But here's the thing, though, Jordan, not to cut you off, Pascal Siakam was pretty shit in the NBA Finals. He wasn't even really great.
You're right. No, you're right.
He wasn't good in the conference finals either. So this is not something that's new. Like, it's unfortunate for the Raptors because they're paying him like a superstar to find out on the biggest stage that he's not. But there were signs that you know, he wasn't ready.
I mean, he's also very, very young. He's only 26. I mean, like I'm not quite ready to like say like, oh, it's the mental thing. It's he's never going to be great in the playoffs type of thing. But
he didn't really start playing ball until he was like a junior in high school. Dog, if you came to me and tried out for my team and you're like, yo, I don't really play ball and you're a junior in high school, I'd be like, this is not for you.
Yeah,
do something else. You know what I mean? So he's just a late bloomer, and it's pretty obvious from what we're seeing right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's me. I don't think the Raptors can hang with the Celtics this year. They got super lucky. It's a must-win game, and you guys super lucky in that, you know what I'm saying? Super lucky to win the game and come back. And even with the comeback, after you take a 4-point lead in the fourth quarter, then you still let the Celtics come back and tie the game and then go ahead and take the 4-point lead. So it just seemed like even in the much close situations, the Celtics just got too many number ones that they can go to. I mean, when you can go to Tatum or Browne and get a one-on-one bucket, and like, you know what I'm saying, you can count on it. The Raptors don't have that. And you know what I'm saying? And even yesterday, it just really showed me that. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but let's get to today's game. We got the Bucks versus the Heat, man. Heat have absolutely owned them here so far. The Bucks are still favored here by 5. Open up at 5.5, down to 5 here. I mean, can you get anyone to bet on the Bucks here? Obviously, they're down 0-2. You're looking at the quotes and stuff. Giannis doesn't really look. I mean, he's saying, "Oh, I'm just going to do whatever the coach tells him to do." It seemed like he doesn't really even care. Maybe even have got one foot out the door. The series isn't technically over yet. If they win tonight, could be a whole new series. Obviously, if they win Game 3 and Game 4, we'll see what happens tonight. I mean, the Bucks did show some fight there late in the fourth quarter. Probably should have won the overtime, but we know a late foul call there for Jimmy Butler made two late free throws, and they won the game. Kelly Olynyk is questionable for this game, and Andre Iguodala as well. Probably one of them will probably play, if not both. Probably just list them on there to throw them off. But be interesting to see if the Bucks can get off the schneid today, Junior. Well, what you think here? You taking the Heat here plus the 5 points, like everybody else?
Nah, knuck if you buck first half. -3.
Listen, why you like the Bucks, my guy?
If the Bucks can't. Like the Bucks we've said this all season. Bucks first half is by far my winningest ticket. They're a type of team that when they win games, they smack you around in the first, they hang on in the second. Because I don't like the way that they take these leads for granted in the second. Mm-hmm. I just think that if they're going to win this game, they're going to get it done in the first half because that's the type of team they are. I think that Giannis has got to be getting tired of the talk. He looks like he doesn't care, but he could also just be mad frustrated. I mean, I personally think that Pascal is going to go back to being Giannis' sidekick next year, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But while he's still in Milwaukee, he kind of sees what's happening, bro. Because I don't want to talk trash about Middleton because he's actually been all right, but he just doesn't seem to have enough guys willing to step up when the chips are down. Like, the fact that Jimmy Butler could take 8 shots and Miami still has no problem winning that game is a bad sign for Milwaukee. Dragic Dragic just scored 20 points in like 6 or 7 straight games. But the main reason, just from a handicapping perspective, I'm taking the Bucks in the first half. Last game, I took the over because I said the first game was played at a pace of 96.7. I think that pace is going to go up closer to the Bucks pace, which is like 105.5. I was actually wrong about that. The game 2 was played at a slower pace than game 1, even though it went over. I just don't think that Milwaukee can play like that. Milwaukee has to push the pace or they're going to lose this series. If they start playing half court, we've already seen it through 2 games. Giannis played better, but his team didn't win. And that's the only thing that matters. The Jimmy Butler taking 8 shots and his team winning, to me, is like one of those things where you look at Miami just got a lot of dogs, bro. Miami's got guys that are not afraid, that can step up in a big moment, and they have a lot of guys with playoff experience. I think that of all the teams in the NBA right now, or at least left in the playoffs, Miami has that perfect mix of veteran experience and young guys with talent. And it's all kind of coming together. Plus, they have one of the best coaches. It's just all coming together for these guys. I'd like to get you guys' opinion on this. Do you guys see that, Coach Bud has like these substitution patterns where he always substitutes guys at the same time? Hey, Coach Bud, how about you play Giannis the whole second half, dog?
Yeah, I don't agree with the guy.
Why are you substituting Giannis in a game that you're losing?
We could do a whole podcast. We could do a whole podcast.
Come on, Doug. That doesn't make no sense. If you just look at all the games that we've seen in this round, all the stars are playing like 40 minutes, right around that. This man still has Giannis sitting on the bench in the second half when they're losing. Dog, he's got to play the whole second half. Stop the substitution nonsense. It's ridiculous now at this point. Sorry, I just had to say that. But yeah, Bucks first half -3.
What you think about this one, Jordan? What you think about with Jordan say, yeah, and Budenholzer, he's going to have to call Coach Popovich or something and try to get some tips, some pointers or something because he can't do it by himself.
Yeah, I mean, like that, you guys hit the nail on the head. Junior did. I mean, for one, and this discussion has been had before, but Budenholzer is just a 500 coach in the playoffs. We saw it with those teams that won the conference in the regular season in Atlanta and then went on to not have very successful playoff runs. I mean, he had like 4 straight years of losing in the playoffs or 500 before last year. So, I mean, like, this is not – and then he has a much better team now, trust me. This is – I don't think it's all him. I do think that you're right. It does seem like Giannis is a little disenfranchised. The rumors about him, maybe ended up in Toronto eventually are a little louder. Like, this is just a Bucks team that has performed in the regular season and then now has gotten into this unique position in the pandemic and has just not shown the ability to play that lockdown defense like they said. Now, granted, I agree there's a counterpunch here. We've talked about counterpunches a lot in these playoffs with teams that have gone down 0-2. Like, it's going to happen, or the favorites go down 0-1, for instance. This is definitely an instance where I think some things change at the end of the game. Game 2, obviously, Milwaukee could very easily be coming into this 1-1. And I think that's what they're probably going in and saying, okay, we got a little unlucky. The calls didn't go our way. I would agree with Junior. I think it's not going to be me betting it, but I would say that if there is a play here, it might be the Bucks first half if you're just banking on them coming out and just smacking the crap out of Miami. That being said, Miami, I think we severely undervalued their depth versus Milwaukee's depth in this one. And like Junior said, the leadership versus the young guys who are great shooters and can get a lot of buckets, combined with the star power leaning towards Jimmy Butler's way in this one. I mean, he just shows up in big games. That's what Jimmy Butler's been doing that for years. You don't have that question about him, and you have all those things combined against this Bucks team now. Very difficult for me to trust him here full game, that's for sure. Though wouldn't mind that first half play. I may jump in on that actually now that I'm thinking about this more and talking with you guys about it. I'm interested to see what you have to say about it, Jay. But yeah, I mean, that'd be the only thing on this game I'd be able to trust. No officials for me on this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting game, man. I can't tell you that everybody's going to be betting the Heat here, hand over fist. I'm not saying that I could argue with them, especially the way they've looked, the way that the Bucks have looked. The Heat have actually looked like the better team. I mean, they're minus 160, I think, still for the series price. So, I mean, they're the favorite now, obviously up 2-0. But I mean, be interesting to see if Andre Iguodala or Kelly Olynyk will sit. Obviously, they will help the Bucks. I mean, it's definitely a counterpunch game. I mean, they're down 0-2, they were the favorite in both games. You don't see any of the line adjustment. The odds makers are still pretty much putting faith in them. I mean, I'm seeing money coming in, even though the majority of money is on the Heat. Still, the tickets are most of the tickets are on the Heat, but the money is still kind of shaded towards the Bucks. So there's still some belief that they're going to come back and even possibly win this series. But game 3 for sure, like Junior said, they have to come out hot. If they want to have any chance to win this game, it's pretty much. I mean, y'all know what I'm gonna say, man. The first quarter and first half, they have to. I'm not betting it just because the Bucks need to show me that they can do it this game. Then maybe I'll hop on them game 4 once they have it out of their head that they can beat them, get over that mental hump. But right now, it's tough for me to even look at the book. Y'all know me, a team down 0-2, especially the favorite. I'm gonna hammer them in this game. And I was saying it yesterday, but it's looking deeper into the game, man. It's tough for me to lay points with the team that hasn't looked like the better, hasn't looked like they've interested, don't look to be motivated. We know here in the bubble where it seems like half the players on pretty much each team are ready to go home. So you never really know what you're gonna get, man. So Giannis, if he's checked out, it's going to be, I mean, the boys really could go down 3-0 here, but I like to look for Junior there in the first half. Wish I could get -3. I don't want to take the 3.5 with him. I do think it's one of these games, though, that the Bucks are going to blow the shit out of the Heat, man. And if it's any game, it's going to be tonight. I have to see it first, man. I'm rooting for the Bucks on the first half and full game, but I won't have a single red cent on it. But in theory, this is the Bucks. It's almost like just like the Raptors game yesterday, Junior. The Raptors, they got their ass tapped in game 1. Then game 2, they actually, you know what I'm saying, made a lot of adjustments. Looked light years better. Pretty much came this close to win the game and then lost, and then they come out. But I mean, the Raptors isn't necessarily a good example because there was a team that's overmatched and it didn't matter in the first half. And that's the only thing that scares me in this one. Jimmy Butler and the Heat smell blood. I mean, they're gonna be going. They said that they're going into this game like they're down 0-2. So I mean, it's tough, man. But I can understand why everybody's betting the Heat today. But they're down 0-2, Jordan. We know that that's an angle that I love going with, man. But I can't do it today. Not laying the point. Yeah. If it was somewhere around like 2, if it was down some, but I can't lay the 5 with them. I can't. But hey, the first half is. I'm pulling for you guys, man. Me and Jordan already talked about it. I hope the Bucks cover today because I like the underdog in the second game. I think it'll be one favorite, one underdog today. If the Heat cash, then obviously, you know what I'm saying, it might not be too good for my late pick. But I'm pulling for the Bucks to smack their ass up tonight because I want my late play to cash. So any closing thoughts on this one, Junior?
Nah, I mean, like I said, for game 2, the Bucks got to push the pace. They didn't do that in game 2. That's not why they lost, but it's a big part of the reason why they lost because essentially they're playing Miami style of basketball. That's not going to work for them. That's not who they are. That's not who they've been for 2 years. Where they've gotten almost 60 wins. I think, didn't they get 60? I don't know, the season got ended, but they would have got 60 wins this year. They damn near almost got it last year. they did that by being a run and gun Giannis with that dumb Euro step that he does. That's like a semi-travel. I hate that Giannis Euro step more than anything in basketball. But anyways, get him
not
out
more
there.
than anything.
No, not more than anything. Because Kyle Lowry arguing with the refs is the thing I hate the most in basketball.
CP3. Every play, bro. Every play. CP3 be paying the refs, low key, bro.
I mean,
but I'm gonna let you
Kyle Lowry has never fouled anyone in his life, according to Kyle Lowry. It's so annoying, bro. But anyways, that's a Kyle Lowry meme right there.
That's his emoji.
Yeah.
That's his emoji.
But yeah, no, I think the Bucks run the gun, get Giannis some easy baskets, get him some dunks, get some open transition threes. Just do what they do. They're not doing what they do. They're doing what the Heat does, and that ain't working. And at some point, somebody on the Bucks is gonna have to step up and guard Dragic, because Dragic is looking like all-star Dragic. You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem.
Yep, you're right. Bledsoe is back. So, I mean, did it seem like, what do you think, Jordan, as far as that last game? Do you think Bledsoe came back? Obviously, had to shake off a little bit of rust there. I mean, he was only out one game, but Bledsoe seemed to come back and make a kind of a big difference there. Like I say, a much closer game than it was in game two. This is the game for the Bucks. I mean, this is their season's on the line. This is the game of the year for the Bucks, and that's the reason why I'm not betting against them. If they're going to show any fight, it's going to be tonight. And don't get it twisted. I mean, the Bucks are capable of blowing the Heat out. Don't get it twisted. I mean, they have to bring that defensive intensity every single possession. And Giannis he's probably gonna have to play 42 minutes or either the whole game. It is what it is. But they have to get a lead and build it. But you got to come out with intensity. But I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say that the Bucks can't beat the Heat. I mean, it's like the Raptors, even though the Celtics have owned them. I mean, these teams get tired of losing. It's really tough to beat a team 3 straight times. I can definitely tell you that, especially in a playoff series. So these teams do match up very well. But I mean, I still think that the Heat maybe got like one more year, you know what I'm saying, to get to the point where but they got superstars over there, young talent, and but I really do think if one of these games, them young guys are going to start, you know what I'm saying, kind of sort of hit the playoff wall. We hadn't seen it yet. But like I say, man, I don't have money on it. It's just me saying what I think is going to happen. If I had a free play on this game, I would probably be taking the Bucks just because it's down 0-2. It's an absolute must-win spot for them, and I'm not counting them out just yet because pretty much everybody has. And I kind of sort of like to go against the grain sometimes, but I'm not on it. That's something. That's the rest I have to say about that one. Next up, Jordan, we got this Rockets versus Lakers game, man. I think me and you like this one both as well. The spread's been pretty much all over the place, man. It's been up to, I think I've seen it open up at somewhere like 5.5, 6, and then got bet up 6.5, 7. Then now back down to 6.5 and 6 here, Jordan. What you think about this game? And we got a total of 226 as well. The total guy is back, guys, in the chat. So what's up, Jordan? What you think about the total?
I'm back, and I'm coming firing with totals today. But first, let me just talk about this series for just a second, and this the numbers on this one, because we talked about this one before the show, and I think we're on the same wavelength here. With the way that Houston played in the first round, granted they were playing against a team that likes to slow things down a little bit more than they do, but the Rockets have not exactly been a run and gun team so far since they got back. They can do that. Obviously, Westbrook being out for that time period has skews that a little bit. But in this particular matchup, this is the perfect small ball versus big bully ball narrative game series that everybody has been asking for. And I think you said, Jay, this before the show, like this is exactly what the Houston Rockets built themselves this way for, is this exact matchup. And if they can continue to play defense the way they have, which they've been extremely good, they've been the number one playoff defense overall so far in the playoffs right now. I think they're 101 points per 100 possessions, which has been very good. The Lakers are a few teams behind them, but still very good as well. If the Lakers slow down a little bit, because comparatively they were playing a speed-up team in Portland in the first round, and Houston kind of doesn't speed up a whole lot, the pace of this game could be a lot slower than I think what the number at 226, 225 and a half, whatever it is. And it's starting to tick downward here. And I think that's a clear sign that some people are thinking the same thing here. And if the under is a good play here, both in the first half and the full game, which are my two officials here, I also have a lean towards the Rockets here, sit 6 points, because if their defense is as good as the Lakers here, I'm finding it very hard to believe that the Rockets are not going to be successful in pulling AD and JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard and all those guys away from the basket. And if that happens, the Lakers defense is going to go way downhill really, really quickly. So if they're playing from behind also with the way their offense has not exactly been gangbusters throughout the entirety of the bubble, I could very easily see a first half and full game under here being very good place. First half looking at 115 and a hook, 116 I'm seeing still. And then, for full games at 225.5, mostly across the board. I'm starting to see some 224s now. Like the unders here, both first half and full game, and I'm leaning towards taking the points here as well.
Me too, man. What's up, Junior? What you think? What you think in this one, dude? We know we've been talking about this one for a while. The Lakers are probably watching that game 7 closely, but they probably been game planning for the Rockets. The Lakers here, Junior, every time they seem to get into an offensive groove, it seemed like to be some type of hiatus. I mean, you saw the Milwaukee Bucks, the little boycott or whatever. Then the boys was off. You see what they came back and did versus the Blazers, kind of come out, we just really get the win. Pulled away. Now, they was losing versus the Blazers at the half without Dame Lillard. Forget all that. Yeah, you can't forget. You can't forget that, man. But the Lakers, they've been off since Saturday, Junior. What they gonna look like here coming out? They lost game 1 versus the Blazers. What you think in this one versus the Rockets?
Yeah, I can't believe I'm really gonna say this, but I actually would take the points of the Rockets, especially if I had a free play. I'm taking Rockets first half +4. To be honest with you, for a couple of different reasons. I really feel like Robert Covington's defense right now is looking like he's playing some of the best defense I've seen in a long, long time. And I feel like clearly Robert Covington can't stop AD. Mm-hmm. I feel like he can make him work, though. I really do, though. Like, that's just my opinion. First of all, so the Rockets switch everything, right? So everybody on the Rockets kind of has a chance at everybody. But I think if you see Robert Covington on AD, because, Tucker's going to get some time on him, or even Robert Covington on LeBron, this is going to sound crazy, y'all. I don't think LeBron wants Robert Covington guarding him right now.
And he don't want House on him either. He doesn't want House on him either. Yeah, it's a damn good matchup. I don't give a damn. I'm fucking taking a point. Fuck
yeah.
Sorry for that.
As much trash as I talk about Houston, I feel like a hypocrite saying what I'm saying. But I'm just really looking at the matchup. I went back and watched the last time they played. I just feel like if the Rockets could play any type of defense, the amount of threes that they make is their equalizer. There's no way that the Lakers can keep up with the Rockets from 3. Yeah. So if the Rockets just get hot, that to me, a team that can make a lot of threes is the Lakers kryptonite. And this is the team, right? Yeah. And we assume they don't play no defense because that's a narrative. But if you just watching these playoff games or you watching the bubble, Robert Covington right now is playing defense at an elite level. He's guarding centers. He's guarding guards. He's guarding everybody. And I just think that he could slow AD down a little bit. Nobody can stop AD. So please, guys, don't think I'm trying to say that he's going to stop AD. He's not. But if you could just make him work, that's better than most people could do because it's real easy for AD usually. PJ Tucker can maybe make him work a little bit. Again, that remains to be seen. But I just like the way that the Rockets are defending right now. If they can hit some threes, I'm taking plus points because, again, we see it in all these series. When a team – like, look at Denver yesterday. Me, Jay, we literally called this yesterday. We were like, just because Denver is tired doesn't mean that that's how they're going to start the game. That's how it's going to start ending up in, like, the second, third, fourth quarter. But to start the game, they just played, dog. They're still in that mode. The heavy legs don't start catching up with you until later. So I just think that the Rockets are still just coming off playing just 2 days ago. They're still going to be in a much better groove than the Lakers who've been sitting for a while. That's just my opinion.
And I'm going to tell you this. And so I see the books kind of shade because we know that the Lakers aren't 6.5, 7 points better than the Rockets. And they opened this shit at 7. And I'm going to tell you this, and it's shaded. I feel like this is shaded in the point spread, the fact that the Rockets come off of game 7. This isn't the Denver Nuggets coming off the game 7 versus the Jazz. This is the Rockets who pretty much kind of sort of sleptwalk versus the OKC. It wasn't necessarily, they weren't down 3-1. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like they had 3 straight game 7s like the Nuggets that had. they had one game 7, which and if you watch the Rockets, I don't care what nobody, and I kind of sort of have, but just a tad bit of inside info that Harden says that he wasn't really playing that hard versus OKC. This is the series that them boys been waiting on, and I know that they barely won, but you see the Rockets, they could have swept OKC. Really, I really do feel like that. Even though they didn't, still the Rockets are in better offensive groove right now. Even though they only have 1 day of rest, but these guys are traveling. That's why I didn't take it too much into Denver that they're gassed. These guys aren't traveling anywhere. You had a whole day of rest, pretty much. That's all you need. I mean, maybe 2 days of rest, but put like this, man. The Rockets already know they didn't need a whole lot of time to game plan the Lakers. They already know how to play against them, man. Anthony Davis is the type of player that he can possibly stop himself. It's not about you stopping him. If he's not going into the hole or if he's not posting up, that's AD stopping himself, trying to settle for outside jump shots. Exactly what. So the Blazers had big guys to try to guard these guys. Now you got Robert Covington and PJ Tucker guarding JaVale McGee and Anthony Davis. That, like Junior said, they're going to pull him out to the 3-point line, keep him from out in the paint or whatever. But then now you don't have them guys sagging off of Anthony Davis, getting those shots. You got people all in his face, pretty much forcing him to drive. I really do think it's a whole different type of concept. This Rockets small ball seems to bother teams like the Lakers that are one of the tallest teams in the league. I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, man. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Rockets win game 1. I think they are going to win. I'm taking the points with the Rockets plus 6.5. Give me the Rockets at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're taking off with the Rockets tonight, and if they want any chance in this series, they got, like I was telling Teddy last night, they got to come out and they got to win game 1 or 2 if they want to have any shot in this series, man. Because we know the Lakers are in theory better than the Rockets. They can soar over them with the rebounds, but like you say, if you're trading 3s for 2s and the Rockets are hitting their shots, and the Lakers better not try to get the run up and down the court with the Rockets, they're gonna lose this game 1. I'm telling you, Lakers usually have to have a game 1 to get a feel for their team. They've been off. I can see them being super rusty. Every time their offense gets rolling, they have some type of little hiatus or break, and it's happened once again. 6 days off, man. LeBron out there on the patio smoking cigars and shit. Okay, I'm taking Harden. I'm taking Harden and Westbrook tonight, man. Plus the 6.5. They could lose by 6, and I still get the cash. I think they're gonna win. Rockets in pocket.
Jay, I know you're reading the chats because I know you always do.
I ain't reading it right now. I don't give a damn what they say.
I want you to go read the chats and see the amount of people laughing at what I said about Robert Covington playing defense. Let me tell you something right now.
They're going to see tonight.
Hold on.
Get out of here with that Robert Covington slander right now. Whoever's in the chat, I won't stand for it.
That's what I'm saying, Jordan. A couple guys, one guy said Robert Covington was a turnstile in the last playoffs. That's how I know some of y'all don't even watch games. Y'all just log in, get on YouTube and watch 3-minute highlights and act like y'all watch games. If you're telling me that Robert Covington is not playing elite defense, just tell me you don't watch basketball. That's fine. You don't have to watch basketball. You can bet on it without watching it. It's all good. But just know that I know that you don't watch these damn games if you don't know this man is enough. What the hell are y'all talking about?
I like the matchup. I'm not saying that
he's going to stop AD. I'm not retarded, dog. I didn't say he's going to stop AD. I just said he could do something and make him work. Like Jay Money said, AD could stop himself for all we know. He ain't built like that. So until we see it, we don't know. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, headed to the locker room? I could fucking see it.
Right.
I could see it. Dog. I've seen it at least 30 times in my career. So, and LeBron, there's too many gray hairs coming out. In my opinion, in this type of series, I don't think LeBron will be a bigger factor. It's Anthony Davis. He's going to be the one that'll take them. If he plays out like an all-star, the Lakers, they'll end this series in 5. But if AD isn't locked in going off, LeBron isn't the one that's going to carry this team, in my opinion, because you got LeBron. I ain't gonna say you got LeBron kind of sort of stoppers over there on the Rockets, and the way that they play defense, kind of sort of like a pack line defense, the way the LeBron said it himself, the way that he likes to pass and, you know what I'm saying, find cutters, it's not going to work against the Rockets. So they have to find different. This is coming from him. You guys got to read the quotes out there and stuff, man. Go look what the coaches them saying about this. They've had plenty of time to game plan, but I just think that they're going to come out a tad bit rusty. We've seen the Lakers need time to, they have to keep it going. They have to keep momentum going. All of this has been stopped right now. I just think game 1 is the perfect time for me to take the points. And this is an angle where the Rockets are going to be tired in the, you know what I'm saying, second half. They hadn't really expanded a ton of energy, in my opinion. They did have a day off. There's no travel, facing the team that they've been waiting for. They've been waiting for. You give me 6.5 points in the game where I think that the dog is going to win, and I'm going to take it pretty much every time, man. And I guarantee that's how people feel about the Heat. You know what I'm saying? That's how they feel. But I like this one in this Game 1 series. It's going to take time the Lakers to figure out how to beat the Rockets handily. I don't think they're finna come in here and win double digits in this first game. Anything can happen, man. Nothing's guaranteed, but I am riding with the Rockets to lift off tonight. Jordan, any closing remarks on this game, my guy?
Yeah, real quick, because, until Ja Morant came around, my guy Robert Covington was the pride of the Ohio Valley Conference here, and I saw him play a lot his first 2 years at Tennessee State because I went to every game, and they came twice a year, and I usually went to the games too. And that dude and Kenneth Faried, the two dudes I saw in the OVC in college, turned into the same NBA players, just bigger and stronger. They're relentless on effort, on defensive rebounding, and Covington could bang threes just as good in college as you could here. Like, don't tell me I'm gonna watch Robert Covington for like 11 freaking years. Like, please stop telling me I don't know who Robert Covington is. And secondly,
Jordan,
real quick, one thing I just want to bridge into that before you say something, Junior, is like people look at how the Rockets are going to play defense in the series. I think you have to look at how the Lakers are going to play defense in the series. We have seen constantly from this Lakers team, not only in the bubble but before this, that especially without the time that they've spent with Avery Bradley out in the bubble and when he was injured, they can't guard guards. Now you're telling me you got to stop James Harden, you got to stop Russell Westbrook, you got to stop Eric Gordon, you got to stop Austin Rivers coming off the bench, you got to stop Robert Covington from getting open shots. He's pretty much a guard too. The Lakers are going to have just as much trouble, I think, at adjusting defensively to this Rockets spread out offense as some people are claiming the Rockets are going to have trouble guarding the Lakers bigs inside. That was the only thing I wanted to say. What do you got to say, Junior?
No, I was gonna say because, like, I talk a lot of shit, and I don't want people on the show to feel like you got to be some kind of ball expert just because you watch a show. But what I'm just trying to say is, like, one guy in the chat saying Junior acting like Robert Covington is an elite defender. He's all right. Oh, so is that why he was on the all-defensive team in 2017, 2018 when he was on Philly? If he was on any other team other than the Rockets, who don't give a shit about defense, which D'Antoni admits, he would still be an all-defensive team player. It's only because he's on the Rockets that just play this run-and-gun, up-and-down, launch 100 threes a game that his defense doesn't get to shine like it did in Philly. But he got paid big money in Philly because he's a 3-and-D player. If you don't know what you're talking about, just zip it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. And honestly, I mean, I read the chat, and I appreciate all you guys for joining the chat. But when I feel a certain way on the game, I don't let nobody talk me off. I mean, when I love you guys in the chat, but I'm not going to deal with any slander. I mean, if anything, you know what I'm saying? If you don't like it, I don't care, man. You guys can bet whatever you want. I mean, it's your money. And so, like I say, appreciate all you guys for watching the show. But we don't tell people that they're wrong just because of their opinion. I mean, none of these are facts. We haven't saw the game. We don't know the final score. So pretty much all of these are opinions. And I don't get mad at people for this. Everybody has an opinion. You know what I'm saying? So we don't get mad at you guys for your opinion, and don't get mad at ours. But if you don't like the pick, you can stay off the game, or you can, you know what I'm saying, bet what you like, man. Nothing's I always tell people that nothing is guaranteed, man. Even, you know what I'm saying, I don't care if the team is down 0-2 in the absolute must-win game. Nothing is guaranteed, man. I like the Rockets tonight to win game 1. I'm not on them on the money line. I always take the points just to be safe, but I mean, I'm taking the dog in the first game of the series. We saw plenty of times the Lakers have to come back and win by just a few buckets. In my opinion, in this one, for them to cover the 6.5, they're going to have to be up, blowing the Rockets out by 15 points going into the fourth quarter, and I just don't see a scenario where that's happening. A lot of people can't think that the Rockets are tired, but they're going to have some extra momentum for this Lakers team. I can guarantee you that, and I think they're going to be going all out to try and win this game 1 and kind of sort of steal home court advantage, as you could say, or just steal the, you know what I'm saying, get an early lead in the series. They have to and come out and catch the Lakers off guard. I know they just came off facing Dame and CJ, but for a second there, they seemed like there was a big freaking problem, and the Lakers kind of have to take a loss first, Junior, for them to get for them to kind of get the right motivation. Don't you sense that? You got to piss the Lakers off for them to be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna play now. I get that sense from them all year, Junior. That's the last thing I got to say about this game. Rockets plus 6.5 in pocket, and I like them in the first half as well. The only plays for me today, Junior. Recap them with your plays, brother, before we get out of here.
Yeah, man. Nuck if you buck. Milwaukee first half -3. If they don't do it today, get your black suits and hard bottoms for Giannis's Milwaukee career, because that's done so if these boys don't come out and win this game. That's all I got to say. And I don't have Rockets in my pocket, but the more I listen to Jay talk about it, first half +4, it's looking juicy. It's a couple of threes, and that +4 turned into +10. Looking juicy.
Yeah, it's gonna be one dog and one fave, Junior. So I'm really pulling for the Bucks, and then you know what I'm saying, because I think it's gonna really open the door for my Rockets, man. What you got, Jordan? What you liking today, my guy? And any leans on any totals as well?
Right now, my 2 plays officially are under 226 in Houston and LA, and under 116 in the first half. And I do believe I am going to ride with you on that 6 here. I don't think I can get a 6.5 right now, but I will take the 6 with you on Houston. And I just looked, and I'll give you guys 3 guesses, but you're not going to need them to guess who leads the playoffs in defensive rating right now.
I already know, man. Since Covington came over to love you, people talk shit whatever you want. Facts.
Hey, Jay, they can't wait. They can't wait to talk shit.
Real quick, Junior. Covington has obviously since he's went to the Rockets, they've been the best defensive team. So you talk about one player, he's changed the whole mindset. That boy got Harden out there playing defense. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? What you gonna say, Junior?
I wasn't gonna say anything. I actually just agree with you. And you even mentioned House's defense is looking good too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Them boys got 3-and-D guys over there. That's one thing I say. I mean, you got House over there, you got Gordon over there, you got I'm even going to say Rivers. I mean, he turned into a 3-and-D guy, but Covington is the 3-and-D guy, and we're gonna need him to show up big tonight. Not to stop Davis, but just contain him. Him and Tucker switching on and off. They gotta, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna need them boys. But I really do think everything coming out of the Rockets here, they pretty much saying that the Lakers, who they wanted, they built this team specifically to beat the Lakers in the playoffs. They're here now. Harden is here now. It's time to carry that momentum. This is the game where I think the team from the last game is carrying over the momentum into this game. Denver didn't really. You look at the matchup wise, Denver didn't have it to keep it close. I ain't gonna say they don't have to keep close to the Clippers, but the Clippers really are motivated. Whatever they have any type of extra advantage, then they're going to exploit it, and it's going to get ugly. They shut down Murray and Jokic last night, and them boys are tired. The Rockets, I don't think that them boys two of their players getting shut down. They got too many ballers out there. They got a bench that can hold up with the Lakers bench, unlike the Blazers, who still gave them boys fits, man. Rockets today to get the win. Last thing I gotta say, to Junior, you say you recap your plays already. What's your plays, brother?
Yeah. I'm Bucks first half -3.
Bucks first half. Got it. Then Jordan, what you on, brother? Some totals.
Unders first half full game in Lakers Houston. I'm gonna ride with you on that 6 with the Houston Rockets tonight. We're gonna 3-2-1 blast off tonight.
Let's cash it then. Let's cash it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We taking off, man. We're gonna holler at you boys tomorrow. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button and subscribe, whether you like the content or if you know what I'm saying, just like the show, whether you want to fade us or not, man. So if you fading us, still hit the like button, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Jammin with J Money. Come back tomorrow. Holler at us.